Hi everyone! Just a quick intro before we get into the real meat of this trailer breakdown. As you can see, it's quite a short video, so I will not be reacting to everything that's happening in the trailer, because not only do they show scenes that we've already seen in separate trailers, and it would be redundant to comment on them, the new stuff they do show, this video would probably be an hour long if I tried to break down everything. So I'm just going to be focusing on the new and important stuff that's introduced in this trailer. But one thing I realised while I was making this reaction, I'm actually quite astonished at how accurate my memory is in remembering every single tiny little detail from the books, when I can't even remember the stuff I learnt in class last week. Obviously shows what my priorities are. Okay, enjoy the breakdown.
I set out for the north some 12 months ago, and this is the first of the discoveries I made. A myriad of worlds, of which the Magisterium controls only one.
For centuries, they have been trying to keep us where they want us, on our knees.
You promised the Magisterium you'd control Asriel.
Then we'll need to take the matter into our own hands.
Okay, the first piece of information we have is Lord Asriel's photogram of the city in the sky, which could be considered Cittàgazze, seeing as that's the closest city and the one with all the portals leading out of it. Next piece of information I found notable were the guards. Obviously the symbol behind Father MacPhail is the symbol of the Magisterium and their autocratic power, but the guards saluting, they look like the Imperial Swiss Guards, maybe representative of Muscovy. That's like a massive military force in the novel, so maybe this is going to be even more epic than we thought, like many different armies converging on each other epic, like Battle of the Five Armies epic. We'll have to wait and see.
Lyra, there's a great change coming that will threaten us all. I'm going to give you something.
What does it do?
It has a part to play in all this. And a major one.
Tell me where the alethiometer is, or I will destroy all of this.
I'm not going to go through absolutely everything, but the next thing I found important is that the needle of the alethiometer is pointing towards the anchor, which can represent either the sea, or hope, or steadfastness, and these are all major themes of the book. Next piece of notable information, we see Lyra running towards a zeppelin, and when we get in the inside it looks like a normal passenger zeppelin, so maybe she ran away from Jordan to join Mrs. Coulter in London. That's a new side of the story I'd never considered before. It would make the reveal of Mrs. Coulter's true intentions be all the more heartbreaking if Lyra ran away from her only home to join her.
We represent a number of families who have lost children. This is war.
I think this can help.
She can read the alethiometer. She will be more valuable to us than any soldier we have. We'll get our children back.
You may have a heart, but the Magisterium have a muscle.
Next, we have our first glimpse at the Imperial Tartars of Bolvangar, and the reason I know they're the Tartars is because we see a wolf demon, and it's stated in the book that all the Tartars have wolves as their demons. They're one of the most dangerous and powerful fighting forces in the book, so I'm hoping they're just as epic in the show. The only thing I can assume from the scene where Mrs. Coulter is shooting someone and her demon kills another demon, there is a scene in the book where one of the spies, Benjamin de Ruyter, his lead snitches on him and he's ambushed by a group of gobblers and killed. And those two look like Egyptians infiltrating Mrs. Coulter's home, so I can only assume that she's defending herself against the Egyptians and ends up killing some of them.
What else do we need to fight them?
Has anyone seen a bear?
It's a good bear. You won't have any trouble.
Nothing of importance here, just to say that I love Lee Scoresby. I love him. He's one of my favourite characters.
Witches have known of the other worlds for thousands of years. Asriel is bringing a great war.
Then I hope I'm strong enough. Lord Asriel needs to die.
Lyra, now is the time to choose a side.
I'm certain we have our first look at a witch. Something we haven't seen in any of the trailers before. This is probably Serafina Pekkala, seeing as the other major witches such as Ruta Skadi, Utica Mainen or Lena Mitti, they don't turn up until the subtle knife. So I'm certain this is Serafina Pekkala, Queen of the Witches of Lake Inara. I'm not sure whether this is just a stylistic choice. Queen witches usually have a crown of flowers or some sort of symbol around their foreheads, but Serafina doesn't seem to have this. Instead, I'm wondering whether the marks on her neck are some sort of ritualistic tattoo, some sort of tribal marking that sets her out from other witches. It's just a theory, but it's the best I've got at the moment. As far as the scene in the Magisterium goes with the massive arena, which does look like something out of Gladiator, like that's the first thing I thought of. The only thing I can assume is that this is some sort of meeting of all the branches of the Magisterium, like the Consistorial Court of Discipline, the High Church of Geneva. That's the only explanation I can think of. Either that, or the show is really expanding on the Magisterium's role within the first series.
There are things. Such things.
Why am I so important to her?
Once the world sees the possibilities.
Something I am very much worried about. In the trailer, they have a shot of Mrs. Coulter pushing the lever to commence indecision, and then we have Lyra inside one of the demon cages. So I'm not sure whether this is just trailer trickery, or Mrs. Coulter actually begins the process of indecision on Lyra before realising. I don't know. I really don't know. But making Mrs. Coulter physically push the lever when usually she was just a bystander, that's even more messed up.
No more oppression.
Please don't hurt me.
No more abuse. No more darkness.
Next major thing that I noticed, and this is just a tiny hint, but we see Lord Boreal, Arion Bakare, crushing what looks like a moth or a butterfly demon, and the only person with a butterfly demon in the books is Adele Starminster, the journalist who sneaks into Mrs. Coulter's cocktail party. She could have a larger role in the series, or this could be the only moment we see of her character, and we actually realise that Arion Bakare killed her by killing her demon, because we actually don't know what happens when a human kills a demon. We don't know what happens to the human. But all I know is, if he's touching her demon, he's breaking the great taboo. So I'm pretty sure this is murder. The needle stops on the symbol for death, which is an hourglass with a skull on the top. The principal meaning is time, but the secondary meaning, and the most common one, is death. So I think the show is warning us that even though we know the books, this series is going to be even darker than anything we've expected. Which I am happy with. We see Lyra falling out of Lee Scoresby's balloon, so I'm really hoping they'll include the Cliffgasts, because they were a major part of that scene. But can I just stress once again that I love Lee Scoresby?
The fate of more than this world depends on her.
Final shot of the trailers. Lyra facing off against the combined might of the Magisterium. Or at least that's what it has to be, because they're the only characters by this stage of the novel with access to Zeppelins. The Great War they've been hinting at so far? This could be Lyra facing off against the Magisterium with an army of armoured bears behind her. And even though that's the kind of ending I'd love to see, I hope it doesn't draw attention away from the chasm in the sky as Lord Asriel tears through the barriers between the worlds. That's the thing I'm looking forward to the most. Okay, so you've seen my slightly shoddy but intense breakdown of this trailer. I'm a little worried they're showing us too much footage at the moment. I mean, spoilers are nice, spoilers are fun, but I kind of want an air of mystery as well. But I am a sucker for anything Dark Materials related, so I am lapping all of this up. I don't want my expectations to be too high, but I haven't rationally considered any parallel universe where this show isn't amazing. So I think my expectations are going to be high no matter what happens. I'm the sort of person that even if I hate something, I'll find something to like about it too. Like one little aspect. So I'm going to be happy no matter what I'm given. Only 1 month to go. So, thank you all for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel down below if you want to see more, because come hell or high water, come exams, tests, essays, and 15 books on Foucault to read, I'm going to be reviewing this. See you then. Bye!